In the Campaign 2012 segment tonight, there's major support for Florida Senator Marco Rubio to run on the ticket with the Republican nominee for president. That's because if the GOP is to defeat Barack Obama, it will need Hispanic American votes. According to a new Fox News Latino poll, if the election were held today, President Obama would get 70% of the Hispanic vote, Mitt Romney just 14%. That's a disaster. And if it holds, Barack Obama will be reelected. Let's now conservative pundit Ann Coulter, who does not believe Senator Rubio is the right choice. Why?
Well, I think your intro was a little harsh. I love Marco Rubio. I think he should keep doing what he's doing and maybe run for president himself in a few years, at least 8, because Romney's going to win. And I don't think Romney needs Rubio to win Florida. And the only reason I think he wouldn't be the ideal vice presidential candidate, though I love him, is that he's very young. And also, when you run as a Republican for president or vice president, the non-Fox media is going to go after you like gangbusters.
Yeah, I know,
and it's good to have
look,
somebody who's been tested, who has been out there, who's been attacked.
But you have to go with demographics. Hispanic Americans make up 9%.
Oh, that poll nonsense is ridiculous.
No, it's a Fox News Latino
No, it isn't.
poll.
Yeah. Okay, and 70% of that 70% live in California. So Obama will win California by a slightly larger percentage. Do you know how many Hispanics live in the swing states of Ohio,
with all due respect,
Virginia?
I don't think there's a groundswell of support among the Hispanic American community.
It's like 3% Hispanics. Okay, there's 3% Hispanics in Ohio. We got to win Ohio. We got to win Virginia. 3% Hispanics. 3%, or maybe it's 6% in Virginia.
Well,
3%
talking Colorado,
in New Hampshire.
New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada.
We don't need all of those.
We? Who's we?
We Republicans.
Okay.
I'm a supporter of the Republicans.
Now, I think that Rubio is going to get the invitation. Now, whether he takes it or not, that's another thing. Well, and I'll tell you what the indicator is. Here's the indicator. He's now, Marco Rubio, crafting legislation on immigration. All right? He opposed the DREAM Act. That hurt him in some Hispanic communities because the polls say that Hispanic Americans do support the DREAM Act. So now he's crafting another DREAM Act, a DREAM Act that he likes. All right? I think that this is absolutely a plan, not just for Marco Rubio to advance the legislation, but to get him on the ticket. And then what Mitt Romney's going to do is, well, you know, I like this plan, and get behind it, because Romney has a deficit. Romney wants all illegal aliens to go back to their home countries before they can apply.
And by the way, with that plan, being against amnesty for illegals, being for E-Verify, and everybody said this is going to hurt you in Florida, Romney did not change his position. Meanwhile, Newt Gingrich wants full amnesty. Mitt Romney won Florida, and he won a majority of Hispanics in Florida. So I'd like to see what the plan is.
It was on the Republican side.
Well, the Hispanics in Florida are Cubans and they're Republicans, Bill.
I know, but you're going to
win Florida with her. And by the way, if we're only picking Rubio because he's an Hispanic, I'm just opposed to that on principle.
No, he sure is.
This pandering, any Hispanic who's going to vote for a ticket just because there's an Hispanic on the ticket isn't voting for a Republican anyway.
I disagree. Rubio shores up a conservative base because he's much more conservative than Mitt Romney, number one. And number two, Rubio then opens the door for Hispanic Americans to look at the ticket. Whereas now they're obviously not looking at the ticket with a 14% favorability toward Mitt Romney. That's a disaster.
Yeah.
Look, Bush got 40%.
Romney will lose bigger than Bush did in California. It's not going to make a difference because all you have to win are certain states. It's not
an electoral
a plurality
game. I understand that. But you're seeding 4 Western states that are going to be very important if it's going to be only 14%.
You know, this whole claim that in 2006 the American people turned against Bush because of Iraq and they soured on the war in Iraq. They didn't care about the war in Iraq. The non-Fox media cared about the war in Iraq. They turned on Bush because he started pushing amnesty for illegals. It is very unpopular among Americans. And to be sucking up to a minority that is a minority within the ethnic group and is nearly 170% live in New York and California, which Republicans never win anyway, is utterly foolhardy. Although this is separate from the issue of whether Rubio would make a good vice presidential candidate. I agree with you that he's a good Tea Party candidate. Florida is important, though. I think Romney's going to win Florida with or without a Florida candidate.
You say it should be Christie or John Kyle?
Those are 2 of my faves. Yes, Kyle. I mean, I think the template is more George Bush picking Cheney, someone who can step into that office. Kyle has very strong foreign policy experience.
What kind of votes is Kyle going to get, though? He's not going to get you any votes.
Either did Dick Cheney. A Republican never loses Wyoming, and yet Cheney could step into the office. Kyle he's very appealing. He's not scary on TV.
Well, that's not going to
happen. He's the fourth most conservative senator. There's Chris Christie, which could possibly put New Jersey in play, even if we don't win
Christie's
New Jersey.
Another guy. I say that Christie is being considered, but Christie's going to punch somebody out. He might be in jail.
That's fantastic. That's what you want for a vice president.
You'd want the vice president to be in prison, so just in case. But, you know, come on. Christie could do anything at any time.
He's very appealing.
And he has very liberal social views on some things.
He does not. That is a lie.
It's a lie.
Yes, he's the first pro-life governor New Jersey has ever had, and his wife is pro-life, unlike either of the Bush women.
He's not a big, you know, he believes in global warming.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he likes global warming. He believes it.
No,
because he sweats a lot.
I will tell you. First, he vetoed some silly cap-and-trade bill. The environmentalists ganged up on him. He vetoed the next bill, but in the process of vetoing it, he claimed, "Oh, I believe in global warming."
You're getting behind Christie, right?
I love Christie. I love Kyle. There are a few others, but I don't think we should be pandering, and I don't think we should go for inexperience.
All right, Ann Coulter, everybody. There he is.